Hey guys, Jessie here at Tonkadale, and today we're talking about repotting indoor plants. Now is the time when plants are waking up from winter. You might start seeing some new growth, and that also means it's a great time to refresh and repot your indoor plants. They'll be happy for it and glad you did it. So what we have here today are several examples of indoor plants and different reasons why. We have the why behind repotting. Indoor plants, they'll generally tolerate close quarters in their container, subpar soils and things, but we really want to give them their best lives. They're like our family members. First, stay. Everybody just get organized. I'm feeling smothered right now, feeling like I can't do my best work. See, they're unruly. That is one reason why they need to be repotted. They can't stand up straight and stay in line. The ZZ plant is a great example of when it's time to repot indoor plants. ZZ plants love being pot bound or root bound. When you see the round pot start to take on a different shape, that would be a good time to repot the ZZ. Plus the soil is bursting out of the container, so when you water, you really don't have a great chance of successfully keeping that water contained. So we'll bump this guy up here shortly. Stay. Next, let's look at proportion and scale. So this is Ficus microcarpa. They like to be really tight in the pot, but notice the height of the plant versus the height of the pot. It's a little disproportionate. This plant could use a little bit of pruning, clean up those leaves, and we could give it a bigger pot so that it's easier to water and take care of. My last example is this brand new philodendron, which is amazing. Philodendron pinnatophytum. Philodendron pinnatophytum. I'm so smart. And it's a little bit wobbly and top heavy for this pot. So we might want to provide it with a wider base so that the plant is nice and sturdy, and we can display it showing its best roots forward, like best foot forward. No, that's bad. Okay, back to basics. When we're getting ready to repot plants, we need to have a really great potting soil. At Tonkadale, we have our signature blend, Tonkatera. This is going to be a little bit of a heavier soil. So Tonkatera for big potting projects, or if you have several potting projects. Otherwise, at Tonkadale, we really like the Espoma organic blends, and there are 4 separate blends. Most indoor plants, like the foliage, etc., is going to be just a-okay with the regular potting mix. We'll just move these aside and get started. I have this long, shallow bin because if I was at home, I don't want the mess and soil kind of sticks to everything and gets all over. So we're gonna use this Rubbermaid bin to keep everything contained. Our ZZ plant is in a 6-inch pot. So usually we recommend going just bumping to the next size. So adding 2 inches. 6-inch is gonna go to an 8-inch pot. We are going to be adding some depth. The first thing we need to do is get this plant out of the pot. And don't be too afraid. Don't be scared, no scary, to rough up those roots. I don't know if I can get this out. Tear it, crush it. There we go. Look at that. It's just fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove quite a bit of that old soil. This soil actually looks pretty darn good. It's just this plant has overgrown its plant housing. You just wanna kind of lower the plant, and when you transplant, you want to leave a little lip above the soil level of the plant so that there's a place for the water to go. The soil repels the water until it's evenly moist, and then it will sink in. It's something to do with molecules. Yes. So we have a nice, rich potting soil. This stuff is like garden dessert, garden candy. Give it a sniff. We'll fill to about the place where we think our plant will need to sit. You don't want to pack anything down too much, but you do want to kind of make sure there's not big air gaps and things. That looks pretty good. Make it a little home, set you in there, and then fill in the sides. You don't want soil coming up over the crown of the plant because that can promote rot and disease. Give it a nice hug. Make sure everybody's nice and secure. We're going to take it to the sink and water it with that shower, kind of that shower setting. If we blast it with water, this loose soil is just going to volcano out, and we're going to clog the sink, and then the person we live with is going to get mad at us because the disposal started grinding up soil. Might end up having to make ourselves a cocktail, and then we won't get our work done. ZZ plant looks great. One last tip, leaf shine. It's like an aerosol oil, shines up your plant. ZZ plants are gonna love low light and low water. So after we transplanted, we gave it a good watering. We're probably not gonna need to water this guy for another month or so. Make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area. Mr. ZZ, you're looking hot. Let's do a quick example of how to get this plant shaped up and repotted. So this ficus is going to tolerate some heavy pruning And when you prune or trim a plant, you want to do it at a node where the leaf and the stem join. So that's going to release that apical dominance and allow the plant to getting bushy with it. So it's going to look a little bit silly. We're going to get a nice fluffy shape here. Let's get this guy out of the pot. Look at that. So that's solid. Chocolate cake, baby. We're going to wake up those roots, loosen them up. You can see this soil is quite taken over by roots, so there's not a lot of soil to hold water. We woke them up. We're going to do just the same exercise we did before with the ZZ plant. It looks cute in there, huh? Will you be my Valentine? Just a quick reminder, we want to make sure your container has drainage. That way you can take your plants to the sink, water them thoroughly, let it drain through, and replace them in their decorative container. Ting! I think this looks great. For this philodendron, we really just need to stabilize the base. We're going to bump it up size, and I think it's okay to plant right in this container. We drilled a hole in the bottom, so there is adequate drainage, and then we're going to stake it up so it's nice and steady. Let's wake up those roots. It feels so silky. The soil feels so silky. Wrestle those roots in there. I feel like I need an assist. Can I get a hand to hold this? You can find our pruners. We can just trim down a everyday bamboo stake to our liking. We can use that. Sometimes if you just stick it in there, it'll hold the plant where you want it to be. You can try out some different locations. You could trim it down if that's going to bother you. Put in a few. If we want to, we can use some of this stretchy tape. And this is nice because it doesn't grind into the plant and hurt it like string might do or wire. And we can tie it into place. Just a simple knot, like a splint. There we go. So philodendron done. Check. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. We're happy to answer any plant-related questions. Put them in the comments below. Ting. Oh, there you go. Gonna get nice and dirty. Trying to get some work done here, you know.